WorthIt 4.0.40 has just been released for the pre-patch. So here is a full user guide on how to use WorthIt. Jumping in towards everything and going over towards WorthIt within CurseForge. What you're going to be wanting to do is obviously type in WorthIt and download the necessary file. This will be added to your add-ons. But however, there is one little caveat that you do need. This is Trade Skill Master, and pretty much everyone uses it. It grabs its data from the database that TSM uses, and we use that to value gold farms for everything to that effect. So if you do want to use WorthIt, you're going to need Trade Skill Master. However, you are also able to use the Auctionator add-on to value your custom price strings as well. This gives players the options to either use Trade Skill Master, which is usually the go-to method for gold making, or we provide a secondary option of using the Auctionator add-on's data as well, providing if you wanted a lighter version of data to be used within WorthIt. Coming in towards WorthIt, what you're going to be wanting to do is pull up WorthIt using the minimap button which is provided for you. You can also use the ability of /wit or /wit, which will open the add-on in question for you as well. Providing that you do have a shift click option to bring up the WorthIt recorder, which we will be discussing later on in the video. That being said, when you're at the dashboard, we have done a few updates, and this is how it is laid out as of now. We have the main dashboard, which will show all of the current expansion gold farms and benchmarking them off of the estimated materials that you will gain in an hour's worth of farming based on your server's prices, or for material basis, the region-wide value for that. Therefore, if you go down, you can also go into the next part of the dashboard, which goes underneath the gathering part, which covers mining, herbing, fishing, skinning, cloth, miscellaneous, which is more like essences, eternals and primals for your miscellaneous, and your multi-farms, which covers herb and mining farms at the exact same time. Following down from that, a new addition towards the add-on is group farms. This one's going to be more expanded out over the next upcoming weeks and or months. However, this will show you material-based group farms and their values for that, which running it in a group you tends to give you more materials, so this has been added in order for you to actually use. You do have transmog group farms as well in order to actually gain a good idea on stuff, and that one will be filled out as well. Along with that, we also have instances, which is raid pets, which will show you the value of all of the raid pets in the specific raid that you can go farming for. However, that is just a total, so when it comes towards the gold per hour for this one, it is mainly due in part to all the pets added up into one nice area. That being said, you are able to go into instances once again and go over towards transmog, which will open up every single dungeon pretty much, give or take, in the game and give you a transmog value for you. Now, there are some that can be highly inflated, which will be added to even more, making the averages even better for you. So at this moment in time, if I was to do the Halls of Stone, I can pull that up. It's saying 300,000 gold. We can pull the drop down menu from the plus to the minus, and we can have a look at what type of items are selling for. So Unrelenting Blade is a transmog item that's selling for 15,000 gold at this current rate in time. You can have a look at all of the necessary data that has been farmed and placed inside the add-on. That being said, we can move over towards open world, which is open world battle pet farms. So battle pets that you can get in the open world. This will be things like the Sprite Data Hatchling, Azure Whelpling, and there are necessary prices to go along with that, along with location and the necessary sell rate. With that being said, we also have rare pets, which is battle pets that are obtained through rares. This one's can range from anywhere from around about 2-minute farm to all the way up towards a 20-minute farm, so to speak. However, that is compiled into a gold per hour for that. It's giving you the overview of the actual price of the battle pet in question. Following on to more open world, we also have the mounts module, which will cover farmable mounts in the open world, as well as toys and also even more MOG. This one goes inside with the instances one, and this will give you a nice little jot down of all of the notable items within this transmog module for open world, telling you pretty much what is actually there. This will be expanded upon at a later date with all of the other open world transmog items, and this will be changed and moved somewhere else in the future, so bear this one in mind when researching this guide in the future as well. However, we do also have a flippings module when it comes towards the overview for the add-on. This will discuss flipping items such as disenchanting, prospecting, milling, the ink trader, smelting, tailoring and miscellaneous. If we go over towards the disenchanting module, we can see that if we get 100 tide spray linen braces, we disenchant 100 of them, we get 326 gold profit. As we can see right now, we can jump over towards prospecting, and we can see that we can make, if we prospect or mass prospect 1000 𝐊𝐿 ore, we can get 491 gold profit on that, and given a necessary sell rate to gain profit into us. So it's something you can look into. You also have with the flipping module your tailoring and miscellaneous. So miscellaneous is pretty dead simple. It actually will cover your transmutation procs such as true gold. So at the moment in time, if I was to make true gold with the transmutation proc, I can get, and I craft 100 true gold, I will gain around about 4,958 gold profit on using my transmutation master, making it even more profitable than the baseline. As well as with miscellaneous, you are also able to trade that into their respective vendors as well to actually gain profit along with that. The necessary overview for everything is the name of the farm, the gold per hour, location and sell rate is the most common way that we display everything within WorthIt. Jumping on towards that, you are also able to add your own little parts to the module by going to this little drop down right here and selecting what you want. You can see it in multiple different ways of what's total owned and DB market, so you can benchmark these gold farms across different types of values before you even go do them for yourself. Following on to that, all farms have a drop down menu and also a additional menu. This one can be added to a to-do list in order to do, and you can also remove a said item from the add-on as well. Moving on to that, we'll go in towards configuration. Configuration is very simple. We just go down to the drop-down menu and go over towards configuration. Inside of here, you have a nice little overview right now where you can select which pricing method you wish to use, and it will only become available if you have the required add-on for that necessary data, so i.e. Trade Skill Master, Oribos Exchange and Auctionator. I use Trade Skill Master and that's the only one I have currently on, and this will provide you with the current content price source that you have available. Now by default it will give you the DB min buyout, however you can also set your own custom strings. This will act exactly the way like TSM would. So if you were to go into your own operations for everything and go in towards your own posting ops, we can have a look at what you're going to be posting it for. You could copy that and post it in there or set it to whatever you wish. It's however you want to value it at, and it works off of the same price strings as TSM does for ease of use. Along with that, you can also reset your recorder position and you'll reset the icon position for the minimap button and the recorder's position on the screen. However, you can also toggle on and off your minimap button icon and just use the / command that I spoke about earlier. Following on to configuration, we can go in towards the recorder. You can set your recorder to only pick up specific types of items. Your min item value will be the value of the item that will be added to the recorder when you are actually farming. This can also be affected by quality of item, so anything that is a grey item or a poor quality item, I've set that in my recorder to not pick it up while I'm recording, and only anything above common can be added towards the recorder as long as it's not soulbound. Following on to that, we have an items of note ability, which is what you set the value for the gold that you wish to actually go by. So underneath the recorder you will have a specific little area where it will pop up and tell you an item of note while you are farming / recording a given gold farm. This will only ping once you set that item note min value at a given price. For me, it is 5,000 gold at this moment in time, hence why I've placed it at 5,000. That means that anything over 5,000 gold will ping up on my recorder if it is above any of these metrics right here. There is a sound alert item for item of note, and you can go to the drop down list for anything to that effect. For me, I like looting coins sound. However, you can also have the precious is killed ability. You can also get a Murgle Gurgle and loads of other different types of sound effects for when you actually obtain an item of note if you are playing the game with the sound on. Following on to that, you can also set your bag value ability. We'll get onto this at a later date in the breakdown. However, you can also use this to a min item value will be the exact same thing as the recorder, but this will be for valuing stuff in your bag and anything over a certain quality, and if it is under threshold, vendor, or destroying versus vendoring. And that is how you would set up your bag value button to actually value all of the gold in your bags, all of the items in your bags in a gold per hour ability. This was an original thing in the early days, and this is how it's actually built out as of now. Following on to that, you do have the ability for custom prices. You can give any item a custom value. All you have to do is grab an item, such as a soulbound item, add it in to the item right here, and you can provide a lovely little custom price string to value any item you wish. This can be things for Bloods of 𝐆𝐀𝐿, which I currently have, and I can edit it right here where I have a massive TSM string working out the actual value of Bloods of 𝐆𝐀𝐿 if you are wishing to do farming for Bloods of 𝐆𝐀𝐿 and any other type of items that you would use for crafting but are thus soulbound. This can be added within here and edited as well. Following on to that, with the modules, you can also have the ability to add items into the dashboard. All you have to do is go over towards dashboard, click untab, and then you can select all the items that will be displayed for you on your dashboard. Following on to that, so you don't have to have the current gold farms, you can just untoggle that, go into any gold farms you wish, and any ones that you actually select will show up in your dashboard as of now. So if we go into all of that, I basically clicked all of them, it will show me every gold farm pretty much in the add-on on the dashboard. I don't have to look at it, and it will just show me everything that I want to keep track of without having to sift through all of these. I can just preset it under configuration, under modules, so I get a better overview, quick, fast and easy. Following on to that, when it comes towards configuration, we can then go back and have a nice little look at the recorder. Now there is two options in order to get into the recorder for the add-on. You can either use a shift and click on the WorthIt icon and it will bring up the recorder for you right here. As you can see, the recorder has the notable item, recent. I actually got the leggings of the Sable Stalkers, 6,665 gold. That has been an item of note, and I got a looted coins ability for that right there, where we set it for anything over 5,000 gold, it would trigger for that under configuration. Following onto the recorder right here, we can have a nice little look. We can thus have the ability to reset a recorder session, so this will change it from anything. So what we'll do here is we can reset it and it will go to the location that you're actually in. Here is the save button in which you can actually save the gold farm to your add-on. You have the play button to record and pause and stop for the add-on overall. You also have a reset instances button where once you've actually done an instance for gold farming, you can press that button and it will reset the instance for you. No having to go over towards your main character, go down to the drop down menu and pressing reset instances. You have it on a clear little button right there. Following on to that, you do have the ability to edit time. So if you go over towards this little part in the recorder right now, you can edit the time and you can round it up to 60 minutes, which is 1 hour, making it a gold per hour. This is something I generally like to do if I'm running a dungeon and it only takes me 20 minutes, but I'm locked for the hour. So I round it up to the hour to get the actual gold value that we actually got. We can also rename everything within the recorder, so the actual name of the farm that you are doing, along with the literal location, so you can set it to the location that you're in. You can also edit the raw gold you actually got from this gold farm, and any items value and the total value overall with raw gold and items in mind added together. So you'll be able to see how much gold you actually are getting from all of the items, including raw gold, as a nice total and broken down for you in the base recorder. However, you do also have a little ability called compact mode where you can have this as really small. You can have it in standard mode, which I generally have it at, and you also have edit mode where you can edit the entire farm in question. This can be used for pretty much the same thing. However, if you have the route add-on installed, you can add your own route to the farm in question for importing and exporting the add-on overall with the recorder. You also have a filtering option which you can filter for materials only or transmog only items, so that filter can be applied to a gold farm that you're doing and WorthIt will benchmark that off of. So if you are farming an instance but you only really want the materials, you can go over towards edit mode in the recorder and press materials only. The same vice versa for transmog, and you can also set it as none, which will just value everything recorded in the recorder. Other than that, if you are doing it in a group farm, you can actually track as group loot. So before you do the gold farm, you can go into the edit mode and tick this nice little thing and then add the amount of players that are actually playing with you in this group farm. Say we have 5, we set it at 5 and it will say 5 players are in this group and it will track all 5 players. You can toggle that on and off as you so wish. Following on to that, with everything in edit mode, you can also drag and drop items into a given gold farm and then go in towards that and click on the little lines and you can set the quantity of how many you actually have. So I could say a stupid amount and then type that in and it will value it on there. You can also set that to vendor and also remove it from the gold farm as well. And that is the baseline recorder. There is one other little way in order to do, which will be in your tools. Your tools are pretty dead simple, which you can just go down on the drop down menu, go down to tools, and with that being said, pull up the recorder. This is another way in order to get to the recorder instead of shift clicking into the actual add-on. Which now brings us on to the next stage of the recorder, going towards dashboard, and we are going to be talking about My Farms. My Farms is a part of the recorder where it will display all of the gold farms that you have saved in the past and benchmark and value that over the gold per hour. This is why I like to zero it off by setting a gold farm towards 60 for 60 minutes to add 1 hour if I'm doing a gold farm for a specific dungeon. This is so I can actually have a look at all the items that I actually gathered and able to actually set that for those 60 minutes. However, you can do it for any of those minutes and it will round it up or down towards the gold per hour. The more hours you put in towards a specific gold farm, then it will get a better average for you, and that is the basis of how WorthIt even works as a baseline for overall. That being said, it will still show you the location of where you previously farmed, along with the sell rate, along with the gold per hour, and the name. The things that are different, however, is you still have the drop down menu showing you all of the items you obtained, as well as when you're actually doing this, you also get a nice little drop down from the little lines you have to see. You can add to do for your to-do list using Executive Assistant add-on. You can also remove said gold farm from this. You can also use another remove, and you can also edit. This edit button will open up this gold farm back into the recorder, whether to add more data to it, or you can use it to edit the gold farm, removing items or adding items to that specific gold farm. So you have the full functionality of just editing a gold farm that you already have saved in your catalog. Which brings us on to duplication. You can just duplicate the gold farm and add more, so you can see what run versus 10 runs would be. So you can do that as well. We provide that option as well as all of that. Now brings us on to exportation. Now, exportation in the drop down is very simple. You press export and it will give you a string to export. This export you can use Control A, Control C, and share that on the Discord or whatever. We fully support all of these strings on our Discord, which you can find in the link in the description down below. However, you can always share that with anyone they want that has the WorthIt add-on as well. Moving on towards all of that, we also have an ability called categorization or category. This drop down means that you can add it to any module within the add-on as a whole, and that means you can just add it towards that, and you can actually categorize that into WorthIt, where you don't have to go to your farms. You can add it to, let's say, your material farms under mining. You can add your own mining farm to this and track it through mining, benchmarking it against the preset ones versus your own. This is the full flexibility of the add-on, and you also have a search bar, so if you wanted to say Heart of Fear, you can also search that particular gold farm as well, and that search bar is across the entire add-on. Following on to that, we will now drop down in towards My Flips. My Flips is a standard one where it's actually another tool within inside of WorthIt, which we will go over the Flips editor very shortly. The flips will just display all of the flips, showing the same thing as the flipping module, but it will be your own custom flips that you can add into the actual add-on, and the same rules apply of what was the output versus the input that you put in, and give you a total overall profit versus cost, value, and the sell rate included with a specific name you give it. You can also export this as a string, so you can add your own flips and share those with anyone in the actual game, and you can import those into the add-on as well, and you can also categorize them into the flipping module as well as everything else, and duplicate and edit it using the flips module. Go down towards everything and you can see the farm planner. This will only show blank if you do not have the Executive Assistant add-on. The Executive Assistant add-on will display all of your farms that you have set to do. So if I went to set to do, as I don't have the Executive add-on, it will not show the farms that you are meant to be doing. However, if you do have this add-on, it will show you all of the farms that you are to do, and it will add it to the Executive Assistant board for you to farm daily or however you wish to set it as. That being said, we can also go down to guides into the actual module, and with guides you have one for battle pets, which breaks down a load of different types of battle pets, as well as another guide for transmog, going over the basics of transmog and picking your server, getting started. It's a very simple read, and it's just one of those little mini guides that we added in quite a while ago, but it gives you a good benchmark to use the add-on with. Go down towards help, and these are specific guides tailored to the add-on. you have the data source add-on, which will break down all of the different types of data structures and add-on data sources for the add-on, and that means it will tell you exactly how to use each one and how you can actually value your gold farms through the add-on as a whole. Trade Skill Master is obviously the easiest and the most usable one and the most commonly used one, so there's a small short snippet because it's very straightforward, very easy to understand. However, the 𝐆𝐻𝐼 exchange one, we actually had to make custom price sources and strings, so there is a nice little explainer there on how that actually works, as well as the Auctionator add-on as well. Following on to that, with other different types of helps, you also have optional add-ons that we have built into the add-on that actually improves the user experience. This is Trade Skill Master, Auctionator, 𝐆𝐻𝐼 exchange, the Routes add-on, which if you have the Routes add-on installed, you can import routes. You have the TomTom navigation for things like the Frozen Orb Flip, which is under the Flippings module under Miscellaneous. You also have the Executive Assistant add-on, which will add task list to your farm planner, and also the Scrap add-on is also supported in this for auto-selling trash items and junk, those to be sold, and it actually gets added towards the recorder as raw gold instead of a flat line into the recorder as well. Following on to that, we also have the recorder. This will break down exactly how the recorder works, so if you need another refresher on how the add-on works with the recorder with every different thing, you can add your values, track group loot, add items, looting lists, sorting junk, and everything in between. We also have under help is the flips editor, explaining how the flip editor will actually work, going in towards shuffles, flips and crafting in general that you wish to work with. This will give you a full breakdown and rundown over all of that as well. And to finish off is some tips and tricks, things like the Bloods of Sargeras and the recording material farms as an explainer, as well as battle pets in WorthIt. We then can go into our last section within the add-on, and that is tools, which we used earlier to pull up the recorder. We'll skip over that part because we've already discussed this part, and we can go into what's the flip editor. The flip editor is fairly straightforward. You reset the gold farm by using the file for a new file, and you set your input by dragging and dropping an item in with a current value, set the quantity. Is it the auction house value? Is it vended? Or is it vendor with reputation discount? And also, you can also remove it. The same goes for outputs, is what you actually got for your output, and then you can name it and your location where you're doing the shuffle. And then you can save that within the flip editor, and it will be shown in under my flips. That being said, we can also take that over towards bag value. This is the bag value option that we talked about in configuration. This will value your bag by your default price source, which you're actually farming and selling at. So how you are actually doing that in configuration under the recorder, it will benchmark it off of that. You can also work out the difference between items as well under tools with your bags, and you can also do it off the dbmin bio and a few preset ones from TSM. The same goes for your bank value, where you can value your entire bank before you can actually take it out and sell it on as well. And by going in towards WorthIt, you can also go in towards your tools once again, and you can go over towards import. The string for my farms, which you exported, you are able to go into tools and import someone else's gold farm or your own if you wanted to do a reset, anything to that effect. You are more than welcome to actually go ahead and do that and just import your own farm by pasting the string, which people export and then publish together, so we can all share our gold farms and our results in turn. And last and finally is the Routes add-on within WorthIt. If you have the Routes add-on installed, you will have the additional option automatically to import a given gold route into the actual game. So if we went over towards gathering, we went over towards, let's say, mining, and we said going over towards the Elementium ore within Twilight Highlands, we can see that that's a 5,000 gold per hour. It's not the best, but for all case and purposes of showing you how to import a route, press import route and it will come up with the route ID overall. You can press import and it will import it into the add-on overall for you. If you press map and go in towards your literal map, we can go over towards the Twilight Highlands in Azeroth, and you will see the route on the screen for you now to actually follow using that add-on. We have a ton of routes all connected with all of the add-on routes, and you can also add your own towards My Farms. So overall, that is the WorthIt add-on and a full user guide on how I would generally use it and how we've actually constructed and developed the entire add-on as a whole. Other than that, if you want to see any other additional types of features or anything to that effect or any feedback from the latest update, then please feel free to go over towards the Discord and let us know. We're always making the add-on even more better, and we're currently working on the group farms module even more at this present time. So that being said, take it easy and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.